was a man named Mike the Bike Dasher. Always had something corny to blather. Made up new words with the word corn in them. Ate corn for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Him corntastic mornings to start his day. Corn begins a lunch in a bright array. Corntacular dinner, what more to say? Living his corn life in a golden ray. Cornflakes and popcorn, a crispy delight. Cornbread and corn dogs, all day and night. Corn was his motto, his life's sweet joy. A quirky corn man, never coy. Corntastic mornings to start his day. Corn begins a lunch in a bright array. Corntacular dinner, what more to say? Living his corn life in a golden ray. Found some corn syrup in his coffee cup. Corn on the cob when the sun's coming up. Corn chips for snacks in the midday burst. The corny life was his greatest thirst. Corntastic mornings to start his day. Corn begins a lunch in a bright array. Corntacular dinner, what more to say? Living his corn life in a golden ray. In a golden ray.
What? Coming.
Corntastic mornings to start his day. Corn begins a lunch in a bright array. Corntacular dinner, what more to say? Living his corn life in a golden ray. Found some corn syrup in his coffee cup. Corn on the cob when the sun's coming up. Corn chips for snacks in the midday burst. Corn in life was his greatest thirst. Corntastic mornings to start his day. Corn begins a lunch in a bright array. Corntacular dinner, what more to say? Living his corn life in a golden ray.
Alrighty, good morning guys, it's your boy. Welcome back to Coffee Talky, where I'm your host, Mike the Bike Dasher, and we talk about stuff. You know, we just a little chit chat, catch up with everybody, see how everybody's doing. You figure it's first thing in the morning, at least for a lot of us. For some people who are on the other side of the world, it's probably the afternoon or even the evening. So you can also look at it as playing a little catch up with that side of the world to see how their day is continuing to go, and so on and so forth. So I'll give everybody a chance to come on in and say henwo and all that good stuff. We'll see who's in the chat as we speak. So we got B, as per usual, passing out some coffee. Good morning, Corn Man. And she got me a cup of coffee. And that cup of coffee is right here. Thanks, B. Appreciate it. We got Justin in the house as well. Good stuff. I know Valerie, she's live streaming right now. She got like a really early head start. If I'm not mistaken, I think she's, what, 3 hours behind me? Something like that, 3 hours? So, it's like 6 in the morning over by her. Jeez, man. I don't usually wake up around 6. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. It's usually like 7-ish, give or take. But I don't set an alarm or anything.
I wake up on my own intuition. Oh boy.
But that's just me. If you guys have an internal alarm clock as well, let me know in the comment section down below. And yes, Valerie has her command too. In fact, since she's live right now, if you guys want to skedaddle over there and say Henwo as well, you go right ahead, click that link, and just tell her I sent you. Do all that algorithm stuff like ringing the Taco Bell and subscribing, leaving comments, all that good stuff. And Becca's in the house too. What's going on, Becca? How are you? What have you got on your agenda today? And how's the weather over by you? Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. B says they wake up naturally by 7 every morning without an alarm as well. Nice. That is heckin' dope, fam. And Kelly's up in the house. What's going on, Kelly? How you doing today? I saw you were live streaming earlier, so I popped in and I said Henwo and subscribed to a couple people. Trying to keep up this whole networking thing, meeting new friends and growing the channel, all that good stuff. But yeah, what's on your agenda today, Kelly? What have you got going on, and how's the weather over by you? Feel free to let us know in the comment section down below. And yeah, let's see, 500 subscribers. Is she at 500 yet? Okay, 478. Alright, so you got about 22 left to go. I see. How does my microphone sound today? Does it sound better? Does it still sound clippy as heck? Comment section down below. Let me see. And yeah. Let's see, 500 subscribers. Is she at 500 yet? Okay, 478. Alright, so you got about 22 left to go. I don't know why it sounds like that. How does my microphone sound today? Does it sound better? I hope I didn't blow it out. Does it still sound clippy as heck? That'd be very no bueno. And it's okay. When I get a little time, I'll probably figure that thing out. Falling a little behind this week. So I basically took a nosedive in this increased frequency of content on the channel. So now I got to keep up with it. Which I did plan to have three pre-recorded longer videos out this weekend. Oh yeah, that's because I opened up my stream to see how it sounded from there. And yeah, it still sounds clippy as heck. Me no likey, but as long as it sounds fine to you guys. It sounded better before, so I don't know. It is what it is. I'm gonna remind my buddy that I am streaming right now. There we go. And then remind my buddy Ulf that I'm streaming as well, so he can pop in and say hi. Plus he can let me know how he's doing. If you wanna stop by. Man, he always sends me a lot of stuff. I don't mind though, it gives me stuff to look at. Now let's see. Becca's first action of the day will be to take my dog to the park, then I'm going to finish putting on the spoke skins on the bike. Oh, interesting. And wind guards. Nice. That sounds heckin' dope. And let's see, Kelly says they're going to leave me running. Well, I appreciate that, Kelly. Appreciate that very much indeed. I think people running my stream, even if they're not actively participating, if they got something else that they need to do, just letting it stream, that's definitely helping with the watch hours. Because yesterday's stream, we got 26.3 watch hours. So that's the first time that not only did we crack 20 public watch hours in a stream, but we're inching closer and closer towards 30. And honestly, like, the more watch hours I get per stream, the quicker I can get the watch hours to qualify for monetization, and then it can turn into channel memberships, and I think you see where this is going. So, you know, if you guys are on your PCs or anything like that, your laptops, your MacBooks, your whatever you got, you want to leave my stream running, even if you're not here, I definitely appreciate it for sure. I know it's a little harder when you're actually on your phone, but that's totally fine. Wow, that's a lot of watch hours for one stream. Well, I mean, for our standards it is. I know when we first started out, it was usually hovering around like 5 to 10. And then it would go up to 10 to 15, and then it started going up 15 to 20. Now we're in that 20 to 25-ish, heading towards 25 to 30. I want to keep going, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to just stop live streaming just because we reach the monetization goal this year. Which is going to happen. If I have something to say about it, it's going to happen this year. Better happen this year. I'm definitely going to keep up with that too, because I could be wrong, but I think more watch hours and engagement also helps with higher payout from YouTube for viewership. I could be wrong. I'd have to look into that. But that's what I've heard anyway. If more people are watching the content and watching it for longer, supposedly you can make more money that way. And, I mean, trying to monetize the channel, that would make sense. But not saying that money's the only goal, obviously. But, you know, it is a goal. But I've been keeping it real with you guys about that. Alright, let's see. My buddy Ulf, he sent some stuff. Let me see what he's got.
Do you like?
Oh, yeah, I saw that clip. Yeah, Kane here. He showed me the British short hair. That was cool. And then what else we got? Neutral grip pull-ups. You did 4 sets of 5 to 8. And the assist weight, 32 kilograms. So is that less or is that more assistance weight, Ulf? I don't remember if that was more or if it was less than last time. New last pin. And then what do we got here? So you got 5 reps of 3 RIR, and then, okay, so looks like you managed to do all 5. You managed to do all 4 sets of 5 reps. So okay, cool. Should be better now, even though you're sick. You counted your old way. All right, well, let's see what happens when you counted the old way. And for privacy reasons, I'm not playing his videos on the stream, but I am watching his videos, so I can pick apart the little things about his execution for the exercises. Okay, he's in the bottom position. So, one thing I definitely appreciate about Ulf, the way that he does his pull-ups, is he gets in that bottom position, that dead hang position, where your back is all the way unbuckled, per se. Right? You want to fully unbuckle your back at the bottom position if you're going to do pull-ups. That way you really get that maximal stretch of the back, and you also get that spinal decompression, because the forces of gravity continue to push down, but you're suspended. You're from a suspended position, so the forces of gravity are going to decompress your spine, rather than compress your spine if you are on the ground, because those forces of gravity perpetually push downward, directly down. But if you're hanging, you see how that makes sense, right? Not that I'm like a physicist or anything, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. And pull-ups are hard. Yes, they are. They are very hard. Okay, good. He also goes to the very bottom again at the end of his set, at the end of his reps, which is also good. You're getting that full mechanical tension of the exercise, which is ideal. Okay. Alright, there you go. Good, good. Come on, give me one more off. Ah, okay. Now I see what you mean by counted the old way. Yeah. Always remember, the rep starts and finishes in the same place. So when you're in that bottom position of the pull-up, just hanging, you got to get back down to that position at the end of the rep, for the rep to fully count. So yeah, that would be 4.5 reps. The reps look fine. Just always make sure you're keeping your chest up. Sometimes it doesn't look like. Sometimes it looks like you're having to compensate a little bit with your shoulders instead of you're keeping your chest up. Because you got to remember too, your shoulders are just playing a stabilization role, because you're getting extension as you get towards the top, right? You're extending the shoulder behind you. So you want to keep the shoulders back in that position, even when you're in a protracted position. So even when you're protracted, you're hanging, you're in that dead hanging position, your shoulders are still going to be back. So you want to keep the shoulders back the whole time. Not in the sense that you're pinching your shoulder blades back, but just in the sense that you're not hiking them forward, if that makes sense. You like to count at the top, it will still be progressive overload. You don't like counting the other way, tried many times. Well, you gotta remember too, you've been, for however many years that you were lifting before we started working together, you were counting that other way. But it's just, you're not getting those full reps and you're not getting that full mechanical tension if you're counting at the top of the exercise. Because as I mentioned before, the rep starts and finishes in the same place. So if you're in the bottom position at the start of the rep, you need to get back down in that bottom position at the end of the rep, so on and so forth. So don't worry that much about it in the sense that, oh, well, I miscounted. If anything, try to go for, as I mentioned before, try to go for another rep in case you lose count. Because at the very least, you'll get the full reps. And at the most, you'll get an additional rep. I like that idea quite a bit. And let's see, he's got his T-bar rows. Going to check that out real quick as well. Okay, good. Nice. Three. And that's a 4th rep right there. Nice. Good stuff. And then you got 6. Let's see how many you go for. Alright, that's number 7. Cool. Okay. Alright, so. Yeah, I see what you mean about counting the old way. I gotcha. I mean, the set looks solid, aside from, again, counting from the same position that the rep starts. But other than that, it looks solid. The wrist didn't feel weird when I used the reps. Okay, that's fine too, dude. I mean, if the back is your main focus with the chest-supported T-bar row, then you're not obligated to use, you know, like, to not use straps every rep or every set. Heck, you can even just do full sets with the straps if you want. That's totally up to you. Just make sure you work on your grip strength. You don't want to lose that. But you can do that with other exercises if need be. Doesn't have to be with that specifically. So, good stuff. And let me see, what do we got here? Yeah, let me. Alright, there we go. And alright, what's going on? Anti-life loner. Do you know British short hair is banned in Norway? Yes. Exposed for being lazy. Yep, they're exposed for that too. The wide grip upper back chest supported T-bar row worked now when I used lifting grips. No wrist issues. The grip is so weird on that bar. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I know you're still sick, so you're confident that you can add weight for the T-bar row. I use reps till I'm forced to use it like that one. Or that my forearms give out before my back. Yeah, that's a common thing too. With a lot of back exercises and a lot of people performing set exercises, the first thing that gives out is their grip. So it does make sense that you can either have full sets using assistance from wraps and straps, or just, you know, whenever your grip starts to give out. That's totally fine. But just don't totally neglect your grip. So if you have other exercises, which I know you do, that can help you with your grip, then that will go a long way. Because you never know when you got to open up that pickle jar. You know, there's always a pickle jar in people's kitchens. You never know when you got to use those Popeye forearms to crack one open, if you know what I'm saying. And let's see. Mike, my salad days are gone. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let me give you some salad. There you go. Enjoy your salad. They don't have to be gone anymore. And why is anyone still arguing about training to failure? Oh, jeez. Let's see. Faz lifts. Not super familiar with that. Tom Platt says stop. Oh, Jesus. Stop deadlifting. Back in the early 70s, I did deadlifts. After much back problems, I say, let's forget about it. I think it's too risky. Benefit to risk. How much? That really depends on your training. I don't like these overly dogmatic stances in fitness. I mean, I know Tom Platz. He's one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time, by the way. And that doesn't necessarily mean I agree with everything he's saying. And keep in mind, too, right, your perspective is a bit skewed when you're taking tons of gear. And when we say gear, we're talking about, you know, the thing where you inject and then you balloon up and you get bigger and stronger and leaner. But YouTube doesn't like the D word or the T word or the S word. So we're not going to say that. We're just going to say the performance enhancements. That sort of skews your perspective because joints and tendons don't become exponentially stronger and more resilient with the aid of those performance enhancements. So a lot of times when these bodybuilders get injured from these exercises, it's often because the joints and tendons have not gotten to the point where they can support the added resistance from the exercises that they're just skyrocketing in progress with. So then they get hurt, and then they're immediately quick to blame that exercise when no, you rushed towards the finish line when it's supposed to be a marathon, not a sprint, right? That's ultimately what happened. Plus, can you really blame an exercise for injuring yourself, or is it more nuanced than that, right? I think it's a lot more nuanced than just saying, oh, well, I did deadlifts and then I broke my back. Well, the thing is, it's probably not that simple. I'm sure there was more that went into that. Did you sleep poorly that day? Do you have high cortisol? Do you have skyrocketing anxiety? Do you just have poor technique and execution with the exercise? Were you progressing too quickly and not giving those metabolic adaptations from progressing and learning and perfecting the exercise? You know, it's a lot more nuanced than that. Rather than just say, oh, well, this exercise caused me to do such and such. I don't think it's that simple. And I don't like when people say it is, and then they start like petty fights over it. And it's ridiculous. But I digress. No, I haven't noticed the Liberty thing with British short hair. Yes, they get bigger and stronger, but what about the joints need? Yeah, exactly. They need to catch up too. And resistance training does increase bone density, right? That's an important thing to note. that doesn't mean that there's no caveats, there aren't risk factors, there aren't things to consider with resistance training, right? I understand that too. But a well-planned program should be able to help you with that. And hopefully someone that isn't a snake oil salesman trying to just sell you cookie cutter spreadsheets on Google Docs for like $60, $100 and then promise the idea of like, oh, well, you know, you'll add like 20 pounds in 20 days. Add 2 inches to your arms in 2 days or whatever. And we got Eric in the chat. What's going on, dude? Glad to have you. Glad to have you, dude. As per usual, playing your song. And it looks like... Oh, yeah. That's not B's command. I think it's B, if I remember. Let me see if that was the one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just B. Let's get B to 100 subscribers. And we got Jason in the house too. What's going on, Jason? Glad to have you. And welcome back, Jacobs. Welcome back, Jacobs. How you doing today? He's asking, taking testosterone isn't that bad, right? I don't have the credentials or qualifications to answer yes or no. Always speak to a qualified medical professional regarding that kind of thing. You met a lady boy that was a bodybuilder, had good gains full of testosterone, you fell in love. Cool. Mike, do you think Florida is banned? No, but they do ban some stuff, which I don't necessarily agree with, but this isn't really the time and place for me to discuss that. Because we have a nice casual thing going on with these streams. But, you know, another time, another day, another place. There's a time and place for everything, as they say. And, yeah, I plugged in Valerie earlier today. There was something else I wanted to do, I think. Oh, yeah, let me see what else Ulf sent me. He sent me some more stuff. Yeah, the deadlifts, I looked at that one. Funny coincidence with the deadlift thing. Met a guy warning me about deadlifts. That some hockey teams don't want their players doing it in case it ruins their lower back. He knew a guy who was big and strong who had to quit it too. Well, here's the thing too. Like, when everyone says deadlift, I know which variation they're thinking about. They're thinking about the one where the bar is right in front of you, and you got to walk right up to it, and you got to pick it up, lift it up, and put it back down. But deadlifts have tons of variations to them. Right, probably the easiest one I've seen for athletes in particular is the trap bar deadlift, otherwise known as the hexagonal deadlift. So it's like a hexagon-shaped bar, which I'll show you guys in case you don't know. But it's a hexagonal-shaped bar. You stand right in the middle of it. The weights are on the sides of you. So instead of the weight being in front of you, where your shins have to meet the bar, you're in the center of the mass. You're in the center of the resistance. So you can use a lot of hip drive, and you can use a lot of drive from your quads and abductors instead of having to just rely on your hamstrings and lower back to pick up the weight. And it just puts you in a more mechanically advantageous position. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will show you what I mean. So I like this exercise a lot. I know some people have mixed opinions of it, but I think it's great. And it's probably better for a lot of people that may experience lower back pain just in general, or they struggle to lift weights from an unfavorable or disadvantageous position. So let me show you what I mean. So it's one of these. So you've probably seen this before. It's a trap bar, right? It's a hexagonal shaped bar. Oh, here we go. This works. So maybe not this exact one, but if you've been to a gym, you've probably seen one of these before. So it's typically shaped like a hexagon, and it just allows you to stand right in the middle of it. You don't even just have to pick up the sissy handles. That's what these handles are that stick up. They're called sissy handles just because it elevates your torso. Your torso can be in a more upright position instead of having to be a bit more hunched over and hinged back with the hips. You can also grab it from side to side for a more interesting variation. You can also grab, maybe not with this one, but typically there's handles here as well. and you can usually grab those instead of having to grab these ones. But yeah, I mean, this kind of deadlift variation is pretty darn good for sure. I like this one a lot. I haven't done them in a hot minute. I'm not even saying they're the best one, because I don't really hold positions like that. But it's definitely a good exercise, and it's one that can help build explosiveness and power. You see it with a lot of athletes with their training regimens. It's often a staple. And it could also just be a good beginner exercise to learn the basics of deadlifting. Now, the way that this woman's doing it is wrong. You shouldn't be doing it like that. Her knees are way too forward facing. Her shins are far too angled. That looks like a 45-degree angle, so her shins are not upright enough. But that aside, it is a good exercise. So I like these. And then you got sumo deadlifts. That's another one too. I'll show that one. So this one is a little more technique and mobility demanding, but it can also be ideal to move more weights with, what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's not necessarily a pure strength exercise, because I mean, you got to have that inner hip mobility, you got to have that outer hip stability in order to assume such a wide position like that. But it can definitely be mechanically advantageous, because instead of the weight being directly in front of you, you're really bringing yourself above the bar. So it's like a hybrid of the weight still being in front of you, but it's also underneath you. So it's sort of like the middleman of trap bar and conventional in some ways, while being about as mechanically advantageous as trap bar, but also more mobility demanding. So that's another one, but usually it's this one that people immediately assume with deadlifts. And this one is the hardest variation. You have the least amount of favorable leverage because, well, the weight's right in front of you, and you have to basically tuck yourself in. Like, you gotta tuck your lats in, you gotta shorten your grip, you gotta hinge the hips back. The way this guy's doing it is not very ideal. He's sitting too low, but you also have to adjust your individual leverages. Like, if you have very long arms, you can get away with a slightly higher torso position. If you got longer femurs, you have to hinge the hips further back, which makes your lower back sort of parallel with the ground, if that makes any sense. But yeah, like I said, this one is a lot less mechanically advantageous compared to the other two. You really have to rely on your hamstrings, your glutes, and lower back to get in that position, stabilize, perform the exercise. But that's a great exercise too, you know? I think they're all great, and just picking the one that's best suited for you, right? That's really what it comes down to. If you decide to do it. Because the thing too, it's not a requirement you have to do that. You don't have to perform such an exercise, or you're killing your gains, you're missing out on, no SIBO, fearmonger. It's like blah, blah, blah. No. You can work around that. And we got Swole in the chat. Speaking of which, what's going on, dude? How are you? What is on your agenda today, Mr. Swole? And how's the weather? Let us know in the comment section down below. Oh, haha. Trap bar. Like actually getting trapped in the bar. Yeah, you're funny, Wolf. Trap bar is easier, better for the lower back. Well, it is better for the lower back. Some things I was looking into, it can have as much as like 20-25% less lower back requirements, or recruitment, should I say. So, certainly. And it's not necessarily because it makes the exercise easier, it just makes it easier on that portion of your body because it recruits different areas, such as the adductor magnus. Because you're putting yourself in the center of the resistance compared to the resistance being in front of you, or having to assume a mobility demanding position to put it underneath you. So it's a leverage thing, right? A lot of it is leverage, and when you change your leverage, you're changing which muscle groups are recruiting and how much and to what degree they are recruiting in order to perform that movement. And we got Masha. What's going on, Masha? How are you today? What's on your agenda, and how's the weather over by you? Feel free to let us know in the comment section down below. And Swole says, what's up, Mike? We got video editing, chest, and biceps. It's 46 here today, which is a relief from the 20s. Oh yeah, big difference. It's still a little nippy, but hey, that's definitely better than the 20s. And you got chest day and biceps. Heck yeah. I know those are some of Arnold's favorite muscle groups to train. Or, you know, at least when he was in his heyday. Probably still now. And you got video editing. Cool. Have a good time. Have a productive and safe, effective, enjoyable workout. And, you know, just do good with your editing. All those good things and stuff. Let's see. It's -8 Celsius over by Masha. Let's see. Since I'm American, I must use the converter tool to figure out what the heck that even means. So -8 would be, okay, so that's under 20. That's about 17, 18. Oof, that's chilly. Not as chilly as Generational Farmer, but that's still chilly nonetheless. You don't like feeling trapped, that's me. I don't like the dead in the lift either. I know that's deadlift sounds kind of scary. It's like, oh, that's the exercise that's gonna kill me. It's like, no, it's called a deadlift because you're picking up you're lifting a dead weight. That's what it is. Because the weight has been killed by these gains. So if my lower back keeps being pain. Oh, well, I didn't know your lower back was still aching from your deadlift. That's a pretty important thing to make note of. Working reps, which actually look pretty decent. But yeah, if you have a trap bar and you feel like you're stagnating with the Romania deadlift, give it a try. You know, give it a shot. Just remember that if with a trap bar, you want the same idea to where you imagine that there's a bar right in front of your shins. Usually no more than an inch away from your shins. You want to keep your shins as upright as possible, or otherwise no more than a 15-degree angle. That just allows you to transfer that weight from your heel and the ball of your foot up to the according muscle groups. So that whole hip complex is able to initiate the exercise. But it might be easier for you. You said my stream is hacking. You mean like it's lagging? Is my live stream lagging? How long's it been doing that? I hope not. You said my stream is hacking. Are you talking the microphone or just you mean like the reception? It's my Oh. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, what about the failure stuff? I'm not a big fan of failure training, especially when it comes to heavy compound exercises. Oh, I did a couple times? Okay. Well, I hope you guys didn't miss too much from it. I don't know, like, overall this network, since we did switch over to network providers, has been much better. I mean, it's not perfect, I guess, but that's okay. Sonny Cornsicles is in the chat. What's going on, Sonny? Glad to have you. Let's plug you in real quick. Not to get sidetracked, I want to answer Ulf's question about failure training. So there you go. Definitely go check out Sonny Cornsicles if you have yet to do so. Click the link, subscribe to her channel, ring that taco bell, lick her videos, and tell her I sent you. But yeah, as far as failure training, I'm not crazy about it. I think it's acceptable with smaller muscle groups, like accessory exercises. If you're doing preacher curls, if you're doing like pec deck, some areas that you want to like just get that maximal stimulus and pump from. Not saying that a pump is always an indicator of improvement per se, but it can be in some ways. Then it could be ideal to incorporate some sets to failure. You can incorporate drop setting to failure for those exercises sometimes. I wouldn't generally recommend it all the time though. If you're training everything to failure every single session, you're going to be freaking exhausted. You're not even going to be up for anything else, because you got to consider the taxation of your CNS from pushing the intensity that high, right? It's not just training to failure in the sense that you can't mechanically perform reps as they were intended without crazy momentum and cheating, but it's also your RPE being exponentially high, right? I like RPE and RIR in that sense. It helps you keep track of how much you're pushing yourself in the sense of your effort level, but also how much you leave in the tank, reps in reserve, right? Makes sense. When it comes to exercises like deadlifts and squats, I think that's retarded to train to failure with those. And that is something that Tom Platz has done before. And I know Tom Platz, the most revered bodybuilder when it comes to lower body development in history. But again, dude was juiced out of his mind for his time. So obviously that, plus he had truly god-tier genetics for lower body development, to the point where it actually was overdeveloped compared to the rest of his physique. Like, he actually had to bring up his upper body within a 2-year span just to make his physique look more balanced for the bodybuilding stage. Yeah, I think his perception's a little skewed, but that's just me. I'm not saying that I hate the guy or he sucks or he doesn't have good advice or anything, but again, he would take exercises like squats to failure, and then he'd go for a 20-mile bike ride after his leg day. After the leg day. Not before the leg day warming up. Not the day after where he's still recovering but needs to put in some active cardio. No, the day. And it was after his training. That's insane. Right? Like, tell me you have god-tier genetics without telling me you have god-tier genetics. And chemical assistance, if you will. But no, big compound exercises, don't take the failure. That is absolutely foolish. But smaller exercises, sure, right? Like let's say, for example, you have a stubborn muscle group. It just will not grow with reps in reserve and with a slightly lower RPE. Try taking them to failure for a couple sets. Not all the time, but sometimes. See if that provides any added stimulus. If it does, then, you know, incorporate it, maybe incorporate it more. See how it goes. Excuse me. And yeah, Swole had another question for me. It was, is there a secret to growing hamstrings? Haven't quite figured them out yet. There really is no secret. So what's important to note with developing a muscle group is knowing how it mechanically functions. We know that the hamstrings is one of those multi-joint type muscle groups. So it has multiple attachment sites to multiple joints. It attaches to the hip and it attaches to the back of the knee. Knowing those things in mind, which exercises train those areas? Hip hinging trains the hips. And we know that the biceps femoris, the largest head of the hamstrings, attaches to the hip joint. So if you train hip hinging exercises, you build the largest part of your hamstring. So if you're incorporating hip hinging, like let's say hyperextensions, good mornings, Romanian deadlifts, anything along those lines, then you are training the hamstrings in their intended mechanical function based on their attachment site to the hip. When it comes to the other component, which is the fact they also attach to the knee, if you get flexion of the knee, you're going to get that full mechanical tension of that region of the hamstring, or the short head, right? The short head attaches to the knee. And the short head, that just helps give a little bit of a hanging look towards the bottom. It adds a little bit of thickness down by the knee from behind or from the side view. So when you're doing something like a hamstring curl, a glute ham raise, a Nordic curl, those types of exercises will build that region. The problem is a lot of people only assume that leg curls is the only real way to train the hamstring, when no, it's not. You're only training the smaller part of the hamstring by doing leg curls. So in other words, you gotta start deadlifting if you don't already do so. You gotta start incorporating hyperextensions, maybe good mornings. That's a spicy exercise. I like that one a lot. Those types of exercises will train your biceps femoris aka the part of the hamstring that attaches to the hip joint. You know, hip hinge, it makes sense, right? The muscles along the hip that you have to hinge with, it's going to train those areas. So that's really about it. Just, you know, pick your favorite hip hinging. You know, like let's say, for example, you do Romanian deadlifts one day, you do hyperextensions another day. And then you can throw in leg curls one day or both days if you really need that extra stimulus. And hopefully that helps you, Mr. Swoll. And let's see. British short hair doesn't train to failure. Yes. 45 hip degree is good for hamstring. Yeah, reverse hyperextensions. That's another good one too. Good morning, Corn Man. Waiting for my DoorDash for Starbies. How are you this morning? I'm doing okay, Candy. I'm doing okay indeed. I was answering some questions from my buddy Ulf. He's really into fitness, and I've been I've been his lookout. I've been his the guy in which he comes under my wing for a little while to help him with his progress in the gym. And you know, he always asks me questions, and he sends me videos of his primary exercises for me to take a look and to give my insight. Because I actually used to do that as a side hustle. I used to do personal training as a side hustle. And I've got a pretty good keen eye for detail, especially in person. It's a little harder online because you can only judge what is shown to you. But if you have a keen eye, you can still make a generally solid assessment. But that also depends on the personality. That depends on what you find most interesting about training people, or being a mentor, or just giving your 2 cents, so to speak. Some people care more about the structure when it comes to like setting up the exact RPEs, the exact RIRs, the exact sets and reps and such, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Cue that Seinfeld meme. You know the deal. And then other people are more keen on picking apart and dissecting how people perform an exercise, whether they have an idea what they're doing or not. I tend to fall under the latter category, although in more recent years, to be more well-rounded, even though I don't actively do coaching anymore, I've also leaned more towards the RPE and RIR, because, I mean, I find that stuff to be just valuable tools to your toolbox when it comes to making those gains in the gym, or outside the gym. Now he's going to start hitting some deadlifts and good mornings. Yeah, there you go, Swole. And think about it too, those kind of exercises, deadlifts and good mornings, you're working large muscle groups, large regions, synergistically and as a unit. So you're building more muscle throughout your body as a result of that. Because when it comes to deadlifts, you're not just working the hamstrings, you're also getting that additional recruitment from the traps, the lats, the spinal erectors. You're going to build that density through that middle column of your back that helps create density in your back. And you're just working more muscle regions simultaneously, therefore creating more muscle mass to be built upon. Makes sense. That's an important distinction when it comes to adding fullness or width of a muscle versus adding density to your frame. When you're performing more compound exercises, you're working more muscle groups simultaneously, larger muscle regions simultaneously. Therefore, if it's not in one specific area or emphasizing one specific area, you're still building more overall muscle cohesively as a unit. So that kind of stuff builds density. When it comes to accessory exercises, that helps add thickness and width. Like, for example, lat pull downs are ideal when it comes to adding width to the lats. But barbell rowing helps add density and thickness to your back because you're working more muscle groups simultaneously. Plus, you're putting yourself under heavy loads as a result. And putting yourself under those heavier loads recruits more stabilization around that muscle region. And let's see, Candy says, tried to work out for the first time in a month. My stepper machine is all messed up. It won't count right, so I had to figure out what's going on with it. It was a bummer yesterday. That sucks, man. Are you able to get it diagnosed? Maybe, is it covered under a warranty? If it's covered under warranty, maybe they can send someone out to fix it, or send you a new one, or something along those lines. But either way, hopefully you can get it fixed if it is still salvageable. And, you know, in the meantime, I'd say, I don't know, just like go for a jog, go for a walk if you can. Could help. Let's see. I'll take a small coffee with cream and sugar. Oh yeah, Beast, hand out coffee. Good stuff. I see Buddy Eric's still here. Nice. And he says, hi, Candy. And then Jacob says, you got heavy loads in Thailand. I'm sure he did, Jacob. I'm sure he did. Going well, just getting ready to run some errands. Errands. Man, every time I see the word errands, I think of that SpongeBob meme. You know, when Squidward, he was supposed to be manager for the day because Mr. Krabs had to take the day off because of food poisoning. And essentially Squidward was trying to just go back home because there was nobody coming to the Krusty Krab, but he wanted SpongeBob to watch over the place. But he didn't trust SpongeBob, and he kept imagining these scenarios in his head, like the Krusty Krab would be burned down, or SpongeBob would be like, I will destroy the Krusty Krab. And he would basically have to keep running back to from his house to the Krusty Krab, only to see that nothing was happening. And he kept doing it back and forth when he would say that, I got errands to run. And then every time he'd come back, SpongeBob would be like, have you finished those errands? And then it would just repeat, and it would just drive Squidward crazy. It actually drove him insane towards the end of the episode. Only to find out they forgot to switch the close sign to open. It was so funny. I loved it. But whenever I see that word errand, I just think of that SpongeBob episode. Oh, I love that show. That will be embedded in my mind till the day I die. Oh, now Eric wants to say hello to me. Yeah, I know you two have a rocky relationship, and maybe this is the place to reconcile. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, I hope the best for Candy, and I hope the best for Eric, and I hope the best that maybe they can reconcile and be on civil terms to some degree. That would be heckin' dope, fam. If you guys think that would be heckin' dope, let me know in the comment section down below. And First Generation Farmer is here. What's going on, dude? How's the weather over by you? Did it go down to negative 48 again? Or is it slightly warmer? And what's on your agenda? Feel free to let us know in the comment section down below as I continue to sip away at my coffee. Yeah, rocky indeed. In fact, actually, let's put some rocks in the chat. So there you go. This is my ode to Eric and Candy's relationship. We got some rocks. Don't throw them at each other though, right? It's only symbolic. It's not literally pick up the rock and then throw it at Eric. Although if you chose to do that, I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but I'll just say pretty please don't do that. Love is heckin' dope. Gotta keep being in love with that one special person. Yeah, good for you, Jacobs. That is good. That is good indeed. My kind of love is a lot more platonic, because I'm sure you guys may or may not know by now, I've mentioned that I'm aro ace. That just means I'm not romantically or sexually attracted to anyone, unless extremely specific conditions. Like, if I just truly hit it with that one individual, but I've never felt that in my life, so. And again, is it very likely? No. But I'm not sexually or romantically attracted to people. So I speak platonically. But you know, my platonic love for people, I think, speaks 1,000 words. Or at least the people that do know, right? The people that are definitely in my inner circle, IRL, know what I'm talking about. It's a very small inner circle. That's another thing about being aro ace too. Your inner circle tends to be very small, and you figure it's been that way my whole life. It just makes sense. A little bit of clarity. And what do we got here? Oh, cool. Masha mentioned me. Busy morning. I've been to 7 live. Oh, wow. Masha really has been busy, huh? She has been heckin' busy. 7 lives this morning. And they mentioned that I'm live, too. Cool. That's heckin' dope. Get prescriptions? Nah, I'm okay. I don't need them. Farmer used his command. So you guys can go check out Farmer. That's right, go hit him up, hit up his channel, subscribe, ring that taco bell, lick his videos, tell him I sent ya, as he is at 364 subscribers. Nice. So he's got another 136 to go before he pulls off the big 500. And I know we'll get there someday too. And he says, -11, windy, and 2 inches of snow on the ground. You'll be doing a crop update today. Nice. Well, I definitely appreciate all the hard-working farmers out there to bring us our supply of food when it comes to our, well, food security, right? Food security, extremely important. So I definitely appreciate the farmers really just being the backbone to make it all happen. That's really what it is. Do they get enough compensation for it? No. But, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that one over the coming years, I suppose. Let's see. You like being in love, but the world isn't that easy. Sadly, people fall off the wagon. Yep, that's true. Prescriptions give new feelings and opportunities that completely changed with my times on it. So I've heard. But what do you mean specifically? Like, what kind of prescriptions we talking about here? Let's see. You fight with Eric all the time. Yeah, I've noticed that. It's been over a year in the making. It's a love-hate relationship. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like that. But I'm sure deep down in your heart, even if you get pissed off or upset or whatever other emotion that you might feel from your exchanges with Eric, I'm sure deep down inside, you love him dearly. Platonically. So, that sounds fine by me. Viagra, ADHD meds, antidepressants, etc. Well, I don't need the first one. I'm fine. The ADHD one. Never been diagnosed with ADHD. I don't think I haven't. I mean, I know I know I can be spontaneous at times, but I'm generally pretty good at staying focused when I need to. 99% banter, 1% real pissed off. Okay, fair enough. I gotcha. That's good to hear. And antidepressants, I was offered those at one point, but I ultimately turned it down because I didn't think I needed it. And ultimately, I still don't think I really need it. I handle my depression fine. Most of the time. And as time has gone on, it's not that it's gotten easier, I've just gotten stronger. Right? That's one thing about depression too. It doesn't get easier. You just get stronger and you become more adept at handling it. At least that's how I see it. If you guys have similar perspective, let me know in the comment section down below. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Because some people may or may not know, I do keep an attendance sheet. That's just me keeping track of everybody that pops in and says, "Henwo." That way, I can shout them out at the end of the video. And I saw Frank Oliver for a minute. There he is. Didn't mean to skip you, Frank. I know you did pop in. I got a little sidetracked. But henwo, Frank. Glad to have you. You like seated leg curls and hyperextensions. Yeah, they're good. When it comes to leg curls, I like the seated one most. I definitely like that one. And hyperextensions, they're nice. I used to do weighted hyperextension, so I would use my grip to hold the barbell and then perform the hyperextensions. I had a nice bit of progressive overload to an otherwise unfairly bashed exercise. Like, oh, that's a sissy exercise. It's like, no, it's not. It's not a sissy exercise. You just don't know how to progressively overload it. Antidepressants can have bad side effects. Sometimes you need both Viagra and antidepressants at the same time. Not me, but people I've heard of. I've heard that too. I've even heard the idea that antidepressants can also cause depression. Although I don't really have a lot of concrete evidence. I don't really have concrete evidence to substantiate that. Just something I've heard. So take that with a grain of salt. The problem is these doctors keep overprescribing meds, especially antidepressants, making people zombies. Yeah, that's definitely a consideration to think about as well. Because you know, I know the whole thing with Big Pharma is definitely a highly contentious conversation, and not really going to step on that landmine because, yeah. But I do value access to medication for the people that genuinely need it, and we kind of have to thank Big Pharma for having that. I mean, you know, it started with penicillin, and now we got whatever that people need. But at the same time, it can also be very corrupt, not with the best of people's interest, overprescribing, and we know that medical misdiagnosis is a leading cause of death in the United States alone. So yeah, it's a pretty complicated topic, to say the least. That's a can of worms that I'm not necessarily going to open, but I do acknowledge. Yeah, they can cause you to be more depressed. Yeah. I've even seen some people become increasingly suicidal on antidepressants. Well, maybe I don't know if I should say that word. YouTube doesn't like that word. Hopefully they don't strike my channel, but you know what I mean, right? The unaliving, the uninstalling, we'll just say that, right? Unaliving, uninstalling. I've seen some people become more of that from taking antidepressants as well, which is that's very counterproductive. It's like you want to take antidepressants to feel a little less freaking miserable about yourself and to be able to better handle the chaos and seemingly insanity of life, and to just experience a little more joy and enjoyment from the things that you actually do like, and to such and such, whatever other reason that you would want to take them. So to have like a counterproductive side effect is just, it's insane. I don't care what people think of me, but I effing hate the doctor and ER. Only thing I go to doctor for is CDL. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of inept doctors out there. A lot of doctors that really just don't care. Let's be honest, like, they're not really even, a lot of them aren't even that qualified at what they do. They just have good memory skills. They have decent people skills and memory skills, right? Those are probably the two biggest assets you need to have as a doctor, because you have to talk to a lot of people on a regular basis, and you have to remember the cases of each individual. So those are big assets to have as a doctor. That doesn't necessarily mean you're good at what you're doing, though. Hence why there's a lot of doctors that are ultimately just middlemen of drug dealing from Big Pharma, as well as doctors that really just don't care. Right, they're ready to get their pensions and retire, and it's like, well, you know, you got cancer, then, let nature take its course. Rather than come up with a methodical strategy to potentially combat it, overcome it, or at the very least, get a little more out of what's left. Or, like I said, I don't know, it's complicated. You like your doctor, though. He helped me very well with getting welfare. So there you go. It looks like you had a good doctor. Like, I'm not going to outright bash all doctors or anything, but I feel a similar way about other groups, like the police, or... Probably shouldn't say that. Like I said, I'm not going to crack open that can of worms. B, always remember, you are your own advocate. Just because your doctor thinks you might need this or that, you can always say no. Yeah, the bottom line is up to you at the end of the day. Right, the doctor can give you suggestions. They can even help you with whatever it is that you need help with, assuming that they actually are a decent doctor. But you're not legally required to do as your doctor says either. I think there are some places where they can make exceptions to that. I could be wrong, but I know there are some places that can do that. But in the United States, you do have that right to decline medical intervention, whether they want you to or not. So, it could be for religious reasons. It could just be that you don't need it and you don't want it to be shoved down your throat. It can be what have you. Your body, your choice. Is it though? Because, you know, the whole Roe versus Wade thing. I don't know. Probably shouldn't say that one either. But no, I agree with your body, your choice. 100%. Definitely agree with that. Let's see. You have done stuff to myself, or I have done stuff to myself, says Farmer. that I would definitely should have went to the ER, but I said F that, went to the Tractor Supply, got my own supplies. That was way cheaper and did not take long. Yeah, you know, you took matters into your own hands, and sometimes that is the best thing to do. Glad to hear that, B. Always advocate for yourself, stand up for yourself, for what you think is right. And B says, thank you. Very true, that's something I've been working on recently. I have a better doctor now. Nice, glad you have a better doctor, B. I'm glad that not all the doctors are poopy-doopy. And let's see, Jacob says, I know people who poop their pants because of antidepressants. I see. That is a very poopy-doopy situation, pun very much intended. This is sadly true. I had a psych appointment once. There were drug reps. The doctor's office just before me left with a prescription for that same drug. I see. I know I like you, Corn Man. We have a lot of similar views on things. Yes. Well, I'm happy to hear that. You know, ultimately, I just want to do what's right. Want to do what's right. Besides, what am I going to be, right? Another, what, old, gray-haired white man telling women that they can't do what they want with their bodies? That's insane. And people advocating for that is insane to me, but I digress. I digress indeed. I only use animal treatments for myself. Way cheaper, don't have to go to the doctor. OR, ER. I see. And let's see. B says, agree, Mike, it's insanity. Yeah. He is Cornholio. Yes. Hey, there's Mary. What's going on, Mary? You just waking up this morning? How is Mary this morning? What have you got on your agenda? What are your plans for today? Are you going to live stream? You're going to go out and crack that $100 goal with work? Feel free to share with us in the comment section down below. Beavis and Butthead movie. I've probably seen it as a kid, but I don't formally remember the movie as it was. I never really got into the show either. Like, it existed, I just never really watched it and paid attention to what went on and how things went on. So, I don't know. And Sunny Cornsicles, BRB, back. Sunny Cornsicles also says, hi Megan. And she also says, hi Mary. And she also says, hi Farmer. Nice. Good stuff. Well, take your time, Sunny Cornsicles. It is always a pleasure to have you. And I definitely appreciate you running my streams in the background to help your boy keep making those public watch hour gains. Because as I mentioned earlier in the live stream, we actually did pretty darn good these past previous live streams with overall attendance and the public watch hours. And it definitely looks to be continuing the trend upward, which is heckin' dope. Definitely want to keep seeing that upward trend. And anytime it stagnates, I see that as an opportunity to be like, all right, well, what can we do to perhaps give it a little nudge? You know what I mean? Yeah, 26 watch hours. That's pretty good, man. You know, if I go back to my first stream, I think it was like, what, about 7 or 8 watch hours? So to go from that to 26 is heckin' dope. And keep in mind, it's going up and up, and we haven't even been streaming all that long. Has it even been a month? I don't think so. I don't think it's even been a month. Let me go back to my
Channel history and find out if it's been a month or if it's been shorter than that.
It has been not even 4 weeks ago. Okay, cool. Let's see. Jacob says, I tried Viagra once. Viagra alcohol made me go, well, okay, there we go. You add the alcohol in the equation, and yeah, that's why things went wrong. I gotcha. I mean, pretty much all these medications and prescriptions, they tell you not to drink alcohol with it, so, you know, maybe don't do it. Now, if you do it, and then you get really hurt, you get sick and unwell, I still think you should be able to get treatment for it. But that's not necessarily saying, like, oh, well, we're going to treat you anyway, so just go back out and do it again. No, it's just like, you're sick, you're unwell, you did a stupid thing, but you can still be treated for it. But we just advise, please don't do that again, because that's heckin' cray-cray. Right? That's heckin' cray-cray. If you guys think that is heckin' cray-cray, let me know in the comment section down below. To add alcohol to a prescription. And definitely don't drink if you're pregnant. Don't do drugs. Don't break the law. Don't do anything that is... don't do anything that's not good. Don't ever do anything at all. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I mean. And let's see. Consistency is key. You hear this, Eric? Yes, consistency is key indeed. Yeah, he's got a funny name. I just call him Jacobs. Also, positive attitude, not a negative Nancy. Take notes, Eric. Yeah, I don't like being a negative Nancy, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I get frustrated with stuff. I feel discouraged sometimes. And people do piss me off. Like, in real life, whenever, like, they cut me off on my bike. And I'm in a sidewalk, and then they throw their hands up and beep at me. It's like, no, you snatched the right away from me. So yeah, like, I get annoyed and stuff, but to actually be a negative Nancy who just whines and complains about everything, me no likey, that is no bueno, that is bad juju. If you guys think that is bad juju as well, let me know in the comment section down below. By the way, I'm not taking jabs or shots at anyone, I'm just generally speaking, in case anyone were to question that. No drinking while on medicine, very bad. Yeah, that is bad juju. Mary says, hey, Ulf. Alcohol has its downsides. Yeah, definitely. I mean, should you be able to have alcohol if you want? I mean, sure, I guess, but, you know. Don't be foolish. I'd say you're better off without it, but, hey, that's just me. And let's see. Farmer says, I cannot drink by law. I see. Well, you're better off without it anyway, Mr. Farmer. It's a North thing, I think, Corn Man. If someone cuts me off, it's instant middle finger. Yeah, I think so. It probably is, because when I used to live up north, the drivers were not that much better. It's just that a lot of them live in Florida, and I live in Florida, therefore, what do you think they're doing? They're doing the same stuff in Florida. And to make matters worse, the main highway that's in my area, it's called Cheney Highway. It runs off into SR50. SR50 is a direct route to Orlando. And Cheney Highway also leads you directly to the Space Center. So when people come from Orlando to Titusville as a pit stop to the space station, and then they come back from the space station, pit stop to Titusville, back to Orlando, yeah, I think you see where I'm going with this. We get a lot of Orlando drivers here. And Orlando already has a reputation of poopy-doopy drivers, and we know a lot of them are also from up north, like your boy. Except, me no drive like that. I've done foolish things behind the wheel, but otherwise, me no bad driver. I missed a Viagra comment. Oh, your Viagra comment. Let me see. What was your Viagra comment? A person I knew got a Viagra pill stuck in his throat. He got so stiff he had to visit it. Oh, wow. Oof, that's horrible. Those pills don't dissolve? Or is it like a big horse pill? Jeez, man. Yeah, bad drivers everywhere, sure. Right, I'll grant that. The population density of bad drivers, though, is, I don't know, it's pretty bad in Florida, for sure. If bad driving is quite a problem in your area, too, feel free to let us know in the comment section down below. I would say Florida has worse drivers than up here. Yes, they are. Because the thing, too, is the actual people that are from Florida are also not great drivers, on top of all the Long Islanders that come down here, who also bring their bad driving habits to Florida. So you can see how, even though there's bad drivers everywhere, sometimes there's more bad drivers in places compared to others, aka the density of bad drivers compared to not bad drivers. And Florida, I don't know what it is about Florida, man. It is very, very many no buenos indeed. If that is many, many no buenos, let me know in the comment section down below if you guys agree. Beer is high in carbs. Yuck. Yeah, it is. But me no drink, so me no can relate as of almost 4 years. Trying to quit drinking beer, it's been a struggle. I'm sure, man, right? Some people are more prone to addiction to various substances. I know alcohol's ran in my family, and it's definitely been a struggle for some of us to overcome alcohol. I honestly had it pretty easy, to be honest. Like, my tolerance was high, but my dependence wasn't very high. So I think that helped me just become sober. I'd say the first 6 months was probably the roughest, where, you know, I would have quite a bit of... I had a couple sleep paralysis episodes during that time. I also had to face my depression a lot more than the previous years. So there was that. And sometimes it clouds your judgments. So then when your judgment's no longer clouded, now you have to start making more informed decisions without it being clouded, and that's not always as easy as one might think, especially, well, you know what I mean, but yeah. That first 6 months was definitely a bit of a wrecking ball mentally, but when it came to actually not wanting to drink, it actually wasn't that difficult for me. I think a part of what helped too is I actually spent like 4 consecutive weeks not having anything at all before one of my buddies from up north came down here to visit, and we went out one day and I had a ton to drink, and you would think that, oh well, going all that time without drinking, your tolerance would go down, right? Wrong! That did not happen. For some reason, I actually had the most I've ever had in my life in a single day, and yet I safely got behind the wheel, got back home, remembered everything, did not have a headache, did not have a hangover, and I actually felt kind of good. That was when I had my epiphany. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, how is it that I went all this time and my tolerance didn't go down? It actually seems like I was able to handle more and feel fine. So that kind of spooked me, and, you know, that led to an epiphany, and then I was like, you know what? I'm probably just not going to drink. And the first 7 months... it was mostly like that, and then after that 7 months, I was like, well, I've already gone this far. Might as well just not even think about it anymore. And I haven't since, and that was May 12th, 2021, which means we're coming up 4 years for that. Heckin' dope. But I know a lot of other people have had it far more difficult than me. So, in a lot of ways, I feel humbled, but I also feel grateful that I was able to handle it quite a bit better than other people. So my heart definitely goes out to the people struggling to quit drinking, for sure. What's going on, Jackie? Just Jackie. I gave you a wrench, so if you feel like clicking on people's channels, subscribing to everybody, all that good stuff, go right ahead. While I'm at it, I will give you a command. And if you don't know what a command is, it's something that you type in the chat. I'll show you what it is in a second, but that allows people to click a link so they can go directly to your channel that way as well. So they can subscribe, ring that taco bell, leave some love in the comments, and tell them I sent you. All that good stuff. And Just Jackie is at 167 subscribers. Let's try to get Jackie to 200 subscribers. So if we get a decent crowd of people subscribing to her from our channel today, we can get her closer to that 200 subscribers. Just made the command. I'll type it in the chat. You're welcome to use that command. You can also use other commands that you see in the chat too. Because if you have a wrench, you can type in any command that you want, as long as it's actually available. It can be based on what's already in the chat. It can be based on ones that I have on my cloud bots, which I can put in the chat to plug in other people, which, you know, is a habit I try to keep up with on a somewhat consistent basis. Your channel's nothing? Nah, it doesn't matter. We'll still subscribe to you anyway. Right, a sub for a sub. That's how we work. Sub for a sub. It's a neat little way to help build rapport, make some new friends, networking, stuff like that. And treasure hunting just to subscribe to you. So Kelly just subscribed to Jackie. Nice. Good stuff. Jackie's been promoted. Heck yeah. We got the Blue Wrench Gang over here. I'm the Ultraman. Da-na-na-na. And by M. Okay, so is B bouncing for now? Oh, okay, looks like Ulf is bouncing for now. Oh, take care, Ulf. Glad you stopped by. Hopefully my insight with your exercise regimen and some, you know, little tweaks and recommendations, hopefully you find that valuable. And hopefully I was able to help you out. I will catch you next time, buddy. Okay, cool beans. Ulf said the thing. He said, but I digress. He said my catchphrase. Nice. I notice more and more people are using my catchphrases in different live streams. I love it. That's great. Glad you guys find amusement in the way I speak and my mannerisms and how I do things and stuff. So definitely warms my heart. And we picked up a couple subscribers from yesterday. That was heckin' dope. You know how I was mentioning how I lost 3? I wound up gaining 5 overnight, so we're back up to 214. So even though it kind of sucked in the moment that I lost 2, it was nice to gain 5, which means I netted 3. So, good stuff, guys. Good stuff indeed. How do I get your special bot on your live stream? Well, the only way I've really got it set up right now is just whatever commands that we can type in. But I do want to work on modules. So I started working on one. It's called 8-Ball. You know the one where like you shake it around, you ask it a question, and then it like gives you a randomized answer. I'm working on something like that right now as another way to, I guess, stir up engagement in the chat and give people more of a reason to keep coming back. There's some other ones here too. There's a heist mini game. There's a gamble mini game. There's a slots mini game. There's a duel. There's a couple others in here too, which look pretty heckin' dope for sure. So I'll have to keep working on those a little bit. I haven't had like a lot of downtime recently because I recently just changed up my roster to have even more content. But once I have a little free time, I will take a look at that stuff. Candy says, it's nice to come to a channel without the drama and whatnot. You can't deal with these grown old men bickering back and forth. It's literally mental. Been going on for almost a year now. Yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff either, right? It's petty drama, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's like a hamster wheel. It just keeps spinning, but it's not going anywhere. There's no resolution to any of it, and I don't like the way it makes me feel. And if I'm not feeling good, that resonates with my audience, and then they all feel like crap, and then people start leaving. They're like, oh, well, I'm not going to go to Mike's channel anymore because his attitude sucks and there's drama everywhere. I don't want to create that impression. I don't want to get involved with that stuff. Plus, it's not like I haven't had people attempt to drag me into their problems in past situations, even before this channel. That has happened many a time, and I never liked the way it made me feel. And after a while, I realized the best thing to do in those situations is to just not engage, to distance myself from it. It's like, yeah, it's probably always going to be there. Doesn't mean I have to be there with it, right? And if I were to see it happening here, well, I would shut it down immediately. So, I don't know. That's just how I see it. Now let's see, what brand B? I need to get my shampoo, but I might get something else to try. Well, hopefully you have good luck with finding a decent shampoo. I know there's all kinds out there, and supposedly they all work great. And supposedly they are also all the best, which doesn't make any sense, but I digress on that one. Jackie says, yes, Candy, yes. And Corey's in the chat. What's going on, Corey? Good morning. Sorry I'm late for class. Well, I'm glad you stopped by, Corey. Definitely go check out Corey's channel. Corey has been live streaming lately, which is heckin' dope. And I try to pop in, say hi, or should I say, I try to pop in, say henwo as well. So if you guys want to say henwo to Corey, let's get them to 100 subscribers. They are currently at 73. They need 27 more to go. So let's see how much closer we can get Corey, aka Canadian Gig App Life, parentheses, baby please, C. Kelly. Definitely check them out, subscribe, like their videos, ring that Taco Bell, tell them I sent you. Exactly, Corn Man. Farmer says, BRB. And Sonny's back. Sonny says, hi, Jackie. Everything else like no. Yes, indeed. Corey says, thank you, Mike. No problem, Corey. And don't be overly modest if you want to type in your own command, right? You can type in your own command if you want, right? I give pretty much everyone here a command. If I have forgot to give you one, let me know, and I'll definitely give you one. I was definitely trying to keep track of as many people as possible as our channel continues to expand and grow. So definitely appreciate your continued support of the channel, which is many obliged indeed. Much appreciation. Whatever that means in Spanish. El apreciado. There we go. El apreciado. Morning, M, says Corey. Good morning, Corey, says B. Nice. So I gotta pee real quick. I will be back in just a bit. So you guys want to hang tight, chat amongst yourselves, maybe go pop some corn, pop some popcorn. That'd be heckin' dope. Let me actually give you guys some popcorn in the meantime. I'll give you guys a couple things of popcorn. I'll give you enough to go around for everybody. For everybody. There we go. So, sit back, relax, enjoy your popcorn. I will return in just a moment. Alrighty, welcome back everybody. Welcome back indeed. I did my tinkle and we're pretty much out of excuse me. We're pretty much out of coffee now. So, kind of sucks. That's my least favorite thing about coffee, is once it's gone. But that's okay, because tomorrow's another day. Besides, muy hydration, many importante. Make sure you guys are staying hydrated. Drink your water, because if you're low on energy, you're feeling hungry, you got a headache, you might not actually be experiencing that stuff. You're probably just thirsty. So, stay hydrated, everybody. In fact, since I'm your host, I will offer some water, aka
The life essence that makes the world go round and round.
So I'll try to put enough waters in the chat for everybody. I'll put 69 waters. I hope that's enough. So there you go. Drink up, everybody. And Damien's in the house. What's going on, Damien? Glad to have you. Welcome to the Chan. I will make you a mod, and I will give you a command. I almost rhymed there. Huh. Bars. Anyway, so anybody that I make a mod, not only do you have the wrenchy powers and the ability to click on other people's channels so you can go subscribe and have a little subathon going on in the chat, I also give you a command so you can plug in your own channel, or you can plug in other people's channels if you would like. So how are you doing today, Damien? Let us know what you've got going on today, and what's the weather like, what's on your agenda. Feel free to share with us in the comment section down below. And let's see what your sub count's at right now. 17,400 subs. The heck? Man, your channel be popping, huh? Sure, good for you, Damien. That's heckin' dope. That is heckin' dope indeed. Go check out my friend, Damien. And let's see, are you monetized? Do you have your channel monetized? You got the watch hours and everything like that? I don't see channel memberships. And, doesn't look like your output is consistent either. So, I don't know if you have like monetization goals for your channel or not. But still, 17,400 subscribers. That's insane. Man, imagine if I got there. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. But man, imagine if I did. That'd be heckin' dope. But yeah, here's your command, and I will give you the command. And your wish is my command. So there you go, Damien. So you want to plug in your channel, you want to plug in other people's channels, go right ahead. And let's have a little subathon. Just go around subscribing, licking videos, ringing Taco Bells, and telling them that I sent you. And let's add you to the count too. To Damien. I like how there's a whole running gag with Eric's like face on a bunch of people's channels. That's funny. I have that on Mike's secret channel too. Because yes, I have a little secret channel. What is that channel going to be like? Well, that's for me to know and for you to find out. I misspelled out. I spelled it as OTU. Whoops-a-daisy. I must do a correction. Because if I keep seeing that, it's going to bug me. Which is funny, because sometimes I spell things grammatically incorrectly, because my lingo, though. Mike's got double standards. You're a hypocrite. Yeah. You and your little corn cob hat. Yeah. Oh, stop it. You will get there. I think the consistency is paying off. Yeah. Yeah, I'm slowly overcoming my defeatist mentality. I've had that for a very, very long time. But, you know, I think the consistency is paying off too. Candy. I'm doing good, just waiting for this catering order, and the day is still going on. Got to set up a schedule for that in the summer to get everything in order, but yeah, it's dope for now. Is it dope for now, or is it heckin' dope for now? Feel free to let us know in the comment section down below. And catering order, man. I'd love to get some catering orders around here. Trying to get signed up with a couple of them to diversify my gig income portfolio. That way, I always have options in case other ones don't work out as well. Like, you know, I downloaded Mobi and I downloaded a couple other Secret Shop apps not that long ago, and I actually made a video on Mobi. And, you know, I think it's okay. Would I spend all day doing Mobi, though? No. it would just be more like something that I do in tandem with other apps. You know, like if I'm waiting for a DoorDash order and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and nothing's happening, then there you go. My other channels get... Ooh, you got more channels too. Your other channels get more income than this one on the low key under a different name though. Ooh, other channel. That sounds very interesting, Damien. I would like to know. Please tell us, Damien. Tell us, Damien. Tell us, Damien. Tell us. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to if you don't want. But yeah, that sounds cool. Good for you, Damien. Sounds like things are working out, which is heckin' dope. And Melissa's in the chat. What's going on, Melissa? How are you doing, Melissa? What have you got on your agenda today? What are your plans? How's the weather? Feel free to share with us in the cornmeal section down below. And as always, welcome. Or should I say wellcorn? Wellcorn. That's my way of saying welcome, but with corn. Because, you know, big lump of knobs, it has the juice. It has the juice. Like how you said that. Heckin' dope. But yeah, we must know the other channel of Damien. If Damien feels like sharing. They don't have to. Thirsty. Mary says, hey Melissa. Mary also plugs in Melissa's channel. Way to go, Mary. Good stuff. And Damien says, BRB, gotta knock out this catering order. Alrighty. Well, you have a good time, have a good productive time, and tell them to bring me my money. Hopefully you get a nice fat paycheck from that catering order. So good luck, stay safe, and glad to have you, Damien. Using less water for that. I see. Interesting. Donald Trump eliminates all federal aid. What does that even mean? Does he even have that ability to do that? The vast majority of college athletes don't receive full athletic scholarships. Honestly, that's ridiculous. They instead rely on other means of financial assistance to allow them to compete at the collegiate level, further their education. Often this federal aid is given the federal government. This comes from Pell Grants. I've gotten a Pell Grant before when I went to community college. So I filled out the FAFSA. Because I think, is the FAFSA only in Florida, or is that everywhere? Okay, it's everywhere, that's right. Yeah, I filled that out when I went to college. Puts a pause on federal grants and loans. Interesting. Well, we'll see how that pans out. Not to stir up anything, though. Just something I noted. How you doing, Mike? You know, I am doing okay. Melissa, I am doing okay indeed. I am looking forward to whatever opportunities present themselves today. But in the meantime, we got ourselves a neat little live stream as per usual. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as of right now. Might I do different live streams at some point in the future? Perhaps. Might I try different segments? Perhaps. But we will cross that bridge once we get there. But I know that based on one of my previous polls, you guys definitely seem to like them, for sure. In fact, based on 14 votes, 57% of individuals voted live streams as their favorite type of content for this channel. How's the weather in my area? The weather is pretty nice. Right now it is 65 over by me, 65 Fahrenheit, because I'm American. American, we speak America! That's how we do it here. I know that's how you do it too. And the high is going to be 73 and the low is going to be 51. So that's pretty good. That is pretty good indeed. And it's basically going to stay quite warm throughout this week and next week. In fact, by Friday, January 31st, it's going to get up to 83. Imagine that. The winter. And the high is 83 and the low is 65. That's like borderline Miami. Am I right? That's like borderline Miami right there. Actually, I'm curious. What's the weather like in Miami right now? Because I think Miami's like one of the only places in the continental United States that is tropical because of their positioning by the equator. And yeah, no surprise, it's basically going to be warm all day and all week. In fact, it's 71 over by Miami right now. So that's heck a note for anyone that lives in Miami, if you enjoy that kind of weather. But 66, 65, 66 right now is pretty good too. Actually feels nice. We're dealing with clouds, rain off and on. So that's where the Florida rain went. We had quite a bit of rain at one point while it was also cold. I think it was last week. And yeah, it seems like it has migrated to everybody else. So thank you for kindly welcoming our rain to your region. We definitely appreciate it. Possible thunderstorms over the next day or so. I see. Well, stay dry, stay safe, all those good things and stuff. Yeah, looks like Buddy sent me something else on Discord. I'll have to check that one out later on. Farmer has returned. Welcome back, Farmer. Welcome back indeed. Or should I say, Wellcorn back. Wellcorn back. And what do we got here? Got another message. Oh, it's just Eric notifying everyone that he is live. The stars are live. If you guys want to skedaddle over to Eric's channel, pop in and say henwo and like his video and subscribe to his channel. Go check him out. He is currently live. I will be doing the same in just a moment. And looks like Just Roy Delivery is live too. And they are up to 891 watch hours. Way to go. Glad to see they're picking up some momentum so they can get remonetized. And then Valerie from Valentine Cruises is live right now. Little Las Vegas sunrise and breakfast gig work right along. Nice. You think you're... Why? Why'd you get banned from his channel? That's weird. Did like something... Well, I mean, you don't have to go into detail if you don't want, but... That would be no bueno, I would assume. I don't know if like you guys had a falling out or something else happened. I don't know. Me no likey that. Like the only time I ever ban people is if they really are just like defamatory scum. Because I never like build relationships with malicious intent. So that pretty much means I'll never throw the first punch at someone. But yeah, people will still punch me anyway. Go figure. I'm sure that's something we can all relate to some extent. And if you can, let us know in the comment section down below. Because yeah, sometimes life be like that. Which is many no buenos indeed. Is that why I haven't seen you there in a while? Or it could be something else, I don't know. I'm just curious. Curiosity's killing the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Well, if you would call it satisfaction, that is. Because that's a big if. It was over BS with Nisi. Was telling everyone BS. I said I don't believe anything Nisi Lee says because she loves to say BS. I see. So a lot of he said, she said with lacking concrete evidence. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that mentality either because it perpetuates the whole like guilty till proven innocent, which is the opposite of the court of law, or at least on paper it is. That's not always true either. Sometimes there's a lot of cases where you are guilty and then you need to prove your innocence when again, like, if court of law says innocent until proven guilty, then how come that kind of mentality perpetuates, you know? It's ridiculous. And if it's lacking concrete evidence, then how guilty are you really? Not that I am going to pretend, not that I'm going to step into someone's house of knowledge and act as if I know everything, you know? But just generally speaking. Let's see, I'll comment on this. Farmer, you go to other channels talking about everyone. We have caught you multiple times talking badly about people. Stop playing victim. Ooh. I see. So it seems like we got a little dispute to settle. So hopefully you two can settle your differences, per se. So ultimately, I'm not going to stick my nose in it, because I don't really know about the context at hand. I'm going to check something out real quick. Okay, got that taken care of. Yeah, little thing I want to get out of the way that I almost forgot about. Let's see. Yeah, the screenshots, that's all I will say. No longer comment on this to bring this to Cornman's channel out of respect. And then Farmer says, I don't think Mike wants this on his channel. Alright, well, since Candy allegedly has screenshots and Farmer doesn't want to settle things on this channel. Do you guys have Discord? I guess maybe just hash it out on Discord or something. I don't know. Maybe perhaps a little sit down between you two and then discussing the what ifs, the whats, the whens, the wheres, the whys, and the hows, and blah blah blah, yada yada yada. You can come to a civil discourse. I don't know. Yes, Farmer, all your fake accounts. Oh, it's JK. What's going on, JK? How you doing? How is JK doing today? Feel free to let us know in the Cornman section down below. What have you got on your agenda, and how's the weather? And Sunny says, hi, Melissa. JK says, don't want to do it on this channel. Well, I definitely... Ooh. Okay, so Farmer says, don't need this. I'm so done, and bye. Okay, guys, well... if you decide to settle it, then just settle it outside of this channel. And, you know, if you guys come to some kind of, I don't know, cordial discussion, or it doesn't go anywhere, then, I mean, that's on you. I don't know. But you guys are always welcome. And thanks for stopping by, Farmer. Always glad to have you. And, got you next time, hopefully. JK says, good morning, everyone. Up early and doing great. Nice. Glad to hear, JK. About to find out if boiling eggs in less water made a difference. I see. Hi, JK. Hope you are having a wonderful morning. And JK says, hi, Candy. Sunny says, hi, JK. Mary says, hey, Sunny. And Melissa says, hey, Sunny. Nice. Good stuff. Let's see, 10:50. So I'd say we'll probably wrap up in about 10 minutes ish, give or take. Give or take 10 minutes ish. Don't know. That way I grab some lunch and head out to work. Maybe fold up some laundry and see what happens. And let's see. Alright, so this live stream did pretty decent today. Looks like we're at 14.2 watch hours. And we had a peak of 13, average of 8. That's not too shabby at all. Because, you know, that overall upward trend. Because, you know, you can't get exponentially better every single time, but you can get better overall, right? It's you look at, like, let's say you look at an ETF or you look at something that's in the stock market, right? Peaks and valleys, plateaus, but which direction is it trending? Is it trending up? Is it trending down? Is it trending all around? That's what counts. What does boiling eggs and less water do? I imagine it just gets the water to boil more quickly. I don't know. I don't know. Because me no expert at those things and stuff. JK says, hi Sunny Merry Gig Life everyone. Nice. And Candy says, we just went over Miami weather. Yes we did. It is warmer than practically everywhere else in the continental US. Ooh, I'm curious. What's the weather like in Hawaii? I hear it's pretty much warm there like all the time. But I also hear it's really windy there all the time too. If you guys have insight on that, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Let's see. What is the weather like in Oh wow, Hawaii is actually colder than here. Huh. And yeah, it is windy. Yeah. I think Mary was the one that mentioned that Hawaii is like windy a lot. So the high is going to be 60 in Hawaii on the whole. And it's 37 right now. Wow. Man, I always thought that Hawaii was supposed to be warm like all year round. But then again, if it's like windy and rainy, then that seems to kind of negates the whole idea of it being warm all year round. It's cold, wet wind. Yeah, I see that. It's weird because the Atlantic is colder than the Pacific. So the opposite happening is kind of bizarre. But then again, weather be like that, huh? Whether or not we agree with it. But, let's see. Mary says, I was cold in March. It's nicer here. Yeah, I gotta say, despite some of my gripes with the Florida weather and atmosphere, it's overall pretty good. I would definitely prefer that over being like really heckin' cold to the point of turning into a cornsicle. And Sunny says, oh, I see. So less water equals less time. Yes. I do that with pasta. You know, if I just fill a pasta bowl up to the brim, then it's like, it takes a while for it to boil. Or get to a boiling point, then put the pasta in. So I just use like half as much. Plus it saves water. So that's how I look at it. Well, I digress. Atlantic is warmer in my experiences. Yeah, in theory, the Atlantic should be colder. But yet, I guess it's not. That's so weird. Let's settle this. Is the Atlantic colder than the Pacific? Let's find the results. Huh. Wow, okay. Well, that totally debunks what I was thinking. So, the Atlantic Ocean is indeed warmer than the Pacific Ocean. Oh, wait. Yes, this is correct. That's right. Because you get cyclones in the Pacific. You get hurricanes in the Atlantic. So, hurricanes are formed with ideal warm temperatures with the water and the rain and the blah 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 and the yada yada. I'm not an expert at how hurricanes form, but warmer weather is ideal for hurricanes. That is correct. And cyclones are similar in the sense, right? They're basically Pacific hurricanes, but the ideal conditions are different. So, difference between cyclone and hurricane. I am learning, guys. I am doing a learning. Thanks to the almighty Microsoft Bing. Because yes, I use Edge because I don't like downloading Chrome. It uses my CPU too much. Cyclones are stormy atmospheric systems that have the potential of causing destruction. They are caused due to instability in atmospheric conditions according to the region and severity of storm conditions. These storms may be referred as typhoons or hurricanes. Hurricanes are a type of tropical cyclone that also have the potential to cause massive destruction due to their high winds, rain, and floods. Cyclone rotation clockwise in the southern hemisphere, clockwise in the southern hemisphere, and counterclock. Oh, so it's the same thing for those. Okay. Cyclone commonly. Oh wait, no, typhoon. Right? Is it typhoon that's in the Pacific? Hold on. I want to get my terminology correct because these questions are burning me from the inside out. Pacific hurricane is a tropical cyclone. Okay. Well, what's the technical name is cyclone though, right? Am I correct on that one or am I wrong? I must know. Typhoon. Okay. Okay. Difference between typhoon and hurricane. There we go. I think we got this. We got this. They're both tropical cyclones with the primary distinction being their geographical location. Okay, but what's the difference with them forming though? Like, if the Pacific is colder, then does that mean that there's different conditions for a typhoon to form versus a hurricane? Or is it similar? Oh, don't know what that is. Like, do they form similarly, or is there a difference with how they form, given the fact that the Pacific is actually colder? That's what I must know. I must know. I must know. Do typhoons and hurricanes form differently from each other? So essentially the same phenomenon, but they go by different names. Well, okay, I got that, but I'm curious about the semantics. Ooh, look at me, Captain Semantics here. Characterized by low pressure center, strong winds, spiral arrangement, thunderstorms that produce heavy rainfall. Yes, okay, so same thing as a hurricane, I get that. And Mary says Pacific is larger. That is true. The largest cyclone in history was in the Pacific. It was also the longest lasting one in history, too. I think it lasted about a month. That was heckin' cray-cray. I forgot what it was called. Largest hurricane ever recorded. It was Typhoon Tip. That's right, Typhoon Tip. Look at the size of this thing. Holy heck. Look at that. Oh my god, that's heckin' cray-cray. And it lasted like 3 weeks. Jesus. Extremely powerful, long-lived. It was very powerful, 190 miles an hour, 305 kilometers per hour. And very low pressure, of course. With it, oh my god, here we go. Got it right here. Tip was the largest tropical cyclone on record with wind diameter of 2,220 kilometers or 1,380 miles. My god, that is insane. That could swallow what, like 4 or 5 Floridas? If you took Florida, you multiplied it by 4 or 5, you can fit them and still have room left in Typhoon Tip. That is oh my god, that is crazy. If you guys think that is heckin' cray-cray, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, I guess they pretty much form the same, at least from what I'm seeing. Basically the same type of conditions, it's just that the Pacific is generally colder. So, not that satisfied with that answer, but I guess at least now I know, right? Now I know. And I've been standard corrected on some things that I used to think. So I did me a learning. If you guys did yourselves a learning too, let me know in the comment section down below. How old is that ad? I have no idea. I didn't check that. They can produce some pretty bad / very high winds. Yes, indeed. Pretty much typhoon, hurricanes are the same. Yeah. It's just a location.
Typhoon is much worse.
I would imagine. I've been on Guam during a couple bad typhoons. Typhoon Asia, typhoon, 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 typhoon. Sunny says, so was I, Melissa. Was taught to put water and eggs on the stove at the same time. Ah, okay, there you go. Yeah, boil the water first and then put your boiling thingy inside the boiling water. So, yeah. So, in other words, do the thing with the other thing, and then it produces it, and then it makes the other thing work. So, there you go. Summarized in a nutshell. Typhoon way worse. Yeah, that's what I said. I was reading your comment. You said typhoon worse. So typhoon worse. Worse indeed. I mean, you figure too, if typhoons are larger, that also means that they're impacting more area negatively during their activity time. Or should I say, before dissipation. So I can see it in that sense too. But also being like very powerful winds. So, I don't know. I digress. Like I said, me no wind expert. Me no do a geography. Or whatever you do wind. Whatever. I'm not a weatherman. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a weatherman. Even though I talk about the weather sometimes. Me no weatherman. B says, I agree, Mary. Let's see. Ulf says the Viagra did dissolve in his throat, so that's why he got it. Ah, okay. I see. I see, Ulf. That is very many no bueno. Very many no bueno indeed. Okay. Is my Facebook Marketplace listing still up? I put up a listing for some tires that I used to use. There were some heavy-duty tires. I don't think they suit my bikes very well because they add quite a bit of weight to the motor itself, which generally leads to less torque, less range, less top speed. I just haven't had the best experiences with them. Even though they do help when it comes to not getting punctures or being less likely to get punctured. But I would say the cons arguably outweigh the pros, at least from
My anecdotal experience.
Okay, it says I gotta renew the listing. Renewed! That way people can buy my stuff! Give me your money! So I can give my money to other people so I can get by for another month and then so on and so forth. You're a fun person like a typhoon of humor. Ooh, a typhoon of humor. Me likey. The storm built over water in the Pacific is the largest body of water on our planet. Therefore, typhoons are worse. Yes, more is more. And more being more isn't always a good thing. So that whole correlation makes perfect sense indeed. Good stuff. So yeah, I guess on that note of destructive hurricanes and typhoons causing billions of dollars of damage and taking people's lives and leading to lots of rain and thunderstorms and wind and things like that, I guess we'll be ending the stream on that high note, shall we? No, that's bad. But yeah, I am going to be wrapping up the stream in a bit because your boy, he finna get a little bit hungry. He's going to have some lunch. He's going to head out to work, take care of some little basic in and out thingies, all those good things and stuff. But let me make some quick rounds of plugging in some people's channels in case any of yous have yet to check these individuals out. I got a ton of people on my commands, such as Roy from Dashing Womble, such as Valerie from Valentine Cruises, and then my buddy Ulf, he was in the chat earlier. I've got his music project in one of my commands. If you guys are looking for some spicy indie alternative rock music, definitely go check out Timothy Toyo. And then Mary says, or humor. Yes. Could be dark humor too. That's fine. Let's see. Let's also plug in Terry, of course. And then we've got Swifty Dasher with Swifty. We've got SVV. A Typhoon of Humor. Yes. Because the Typhoon of Humor is always spinning round and round and blowing you away with how heckin' funny I can be sometimes. By some people. By some people's perspective. To some others, maybe not. And you know what? That's okay. You don't necessarily have to like my brand or anything. There's always tons of channels out there that you can visit instead of mine if you're not crazy about my sense of humor. But to those who do enjoy what I bring to the table, welcome, and I definitely appreciate your continued support of my channel. Many appreciation indeed. So plug them in, and Sunny says Toodles. Mary says Ray. Oh, did I say Roy? I meant to say Ray. My bad. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. Come on, I've said his name before. I said it correctly. Just this whole networking thing also means having to keep track of a ton of people and then making mistakes and things and stuff. Okay, Nicole, we got Music City. We've got Melissa. And then we've got Matthew. We've got Masha. We've got Mary Wary. We've got Mad Matt. We've got the other Mad, because there's more than one Mad. And hopefully that doesn't make you mad. Then we got Kelly. We got Kaylee. We got... Oh, Queen already has one. I made two of them for them. Whoops-a-daisy. That's okay. Let's go to JK. Let's go to Jackie. Let's go to Indy. Then we got Hubby, which is otherwise known as Abe on the Go. Valerie's husband, or hubby, should I say. Then we got Goose. We got Fran. We got Farmer. We got Eric. We got Ellen. Oh my goodness gracious. Tons and tons of people. And this list will keep expanding on and on and on as we meet new friends. Because there are many more friends to make. Many new people to see. And, you know, maybe those relationships don't always work out. But you can net a ton of them in the process anyway. And then, bam. And yeah, we're pretty much wrapping up. I'm just doing my obligatory plugging in people's channels. And then we'll wrap everything with a nice little bow. I try to visit as many people as I can. Pop in and say Henwo and keep up with things. DJ, and then we got D, and then we got, last but not least, we got 3 stacks. The Stacky Boy. There we go, cool beans. That's everyone that I've got so far on the commands. We're always looking to add more people, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's all I got as far as those, and we're going to be wrapping up the stream. If you guys enjoyed today's stream, just don't forget to hit that like button. Like that video if you have yet to subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate that as well. And ring that taco bell, that way you get notified the next time I upload and stream. And as far as the stream, as far as our weekly schedule, you get daily content from this channel. I live stream Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as of right now. And basically Friday through Sunday, you get pre-recorded content in the form of longer videos, and shorts. So if that's up your alley too, then be sure to stick around and all that good stuff. And all the links that I put in the chat, the commands, and fellow individuals, don't forget to subscribe to them, like their videos, ring their Taco Bells, and tell them I sent you, and all those good things and stuff. And last but not least, let's give everyone a shout out that decided to pop in and say henwo, and everyone that did the whole sticking around, just like Arnold said. Because I keep an attendance sheet, keep track of everyone that did decide to pop in today. So first and foremost, we had B, always passing out coffee, good stuff. We had Justin, we had Kelly, aka Daisy May. We had Becca from Miss Ride and Shine. Had my buddy Anti-Life Loner. We had Jason. We had my buddy Ulf. And then Jacobs, Stiffy Jacobs. Then we had Swole, aka SVV, and then however he spells the rest of his name. We had Masha from Miracle and Mayhems. We had Sunny from Sunny Cornsicles. Candy was here. We had First Generation Farmer, otherwise just Farmer. And then we had Frank. We had Mary from Mary's Gigs. We had Jackie from Just Jackie. We had Corey from Canadian Gig App Life, parentheses, C. Kelly. That name. And then, okay, I wrote Candy down twice. But either way, Candy was here. And I forgot to add Eric. Eric was here, of course. MVP, who adds music to this channel, does all those cool things and stuff. And then we had Damien, we had Melissa, and last but not least, we had JK with his 17.4 thousand subscribers, which is heckin' dope. And as like reference point, not in the obsessive way that's like, oh no, it went down 1, it went down 2 or 3, in the sense of like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So 17.1 watch hours, probably bump up closer to 18. We had a decent viewership with a 13 peak and 8 average. So those numbers are going up for sure. Good stuff, guys. Definitely appreciate that. And on that note, I love all yous. Appreciate your continued support of my channel. And I'll play a little bit of music for the outro. That way you guys can have your chance to say toodles and all those interesting things and stuff. Plus you can visit my link tree. Let me plug that in real quick. If you feel like helping your boy out, or if you need resources where I can help you out, go visit my link tree sometime. But anyway, I love all yous. Love your continued support of my channel. And I'll see you next time.
Hasta la vista, baby!
As soon as it loads. Aha.
Cornbread breakfast, he would say. Corn shoes tied in a corn way. Corn car driving down Corn Street. Clouds floating in the heat. Cornophone, his favorite device. Corn book full of corny advice. Corn show when the sun goes down. Corn king wearing his corn crown. Corny jokes from Mike the Bike. Conversations all we like. Corn puns landing every night. Cornfolio keeps it tight. Corn world spinning round his head. Corn bed where he lays in bed. Face, corn place, a magical space. Cornfield where he's throwing shade. Corn card tricks of every grade. Corn step dancing in the rain. Corn lag easing all the pain. Corny jokes from Mike the Bike. Conversations all we like. Corn puns landing every night. Cornfolio keeps it tight. Cornfolio bread. Cornbread breakfast, he would say. Corn shoes tied in a corn way. Corn car driving down Corn Street. Corn clouds floating in the heat.